on-demand support if we're using the Moby libraries and,
In theory, I think that should be true, Aiden, but
yeah, no, I get it.
I don't come with that from experience.
It's really going to help our because they're separate libraries now. I think it's probably going to help our security scanning and stuff.
Yeah.
Like right
Yes,
now we have
Yeah.
to bring in like all of Docker
on
to
Docker.
do
Yes.
a
It
bunch
will
of
be
stuff.
very
So
nice to
having
get away from it,
yeah,
but
yeah, it should be
it
much
is, it
more
is
like an
a
HTTP library. Yeah.
yeah, it is not a small surface area change because I think it's an impact lifecycle image util and pack.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, in the agenda, I linked the release notes that talks about it specifically where they call it out. Um,
Right.
so yeah, Moby client and Moby API. And you're not supposed to use Moby directly because they consider that internal implementation. So a lot of fun and exciting things, I guess.
Let us know if pack can't be released, like if we need to do something with like a different runner or something like that. Yeah, keep us up to date on that if we run
Yeah.
into any
Yeah.
more issues with the action runner. But it sounds like we know what we need to do. So
Uh, Actually, life cycle, it's going to be impacted too because you also have. I think
oh
we
yeah,
also
for
have a
sure.
runner there.
Yeah. But we don't. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the runner. Yeah. We do have a runner there. I don't know if we use it anymore because we don't have Windows support anymore for lifecycle.
Yeah, and now
That's
that's
what.
just a pack problem, Juan.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, pack still
I
needs to
will
run
not
on
invite you
Windows,
to
but
that party then.
lifecycle doesn't. So
Yeah, I will try to fix that maybe tomorrow. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably all on that topic. So there's probably work items that or issues that we need to probably create for the other changes. But
Good. The other thing is the 2 or 3 open PRs for to bump a new version of Platform API and Buildpack API. I need those two.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, we merged a bunch of spec stuff and I tagged both Terrence and Joe, and I think Joe tagged Natalie, who's obviously not here most of the time. But we are ready for a spec bump so that we can do the system build packs and the
Yeah.
exec inv in both pack and lifecycle.
Gotcha.
All right. There's nothing else on
Do
the
we want
agenda.
to touch on the UMass thing you've been pinging me about, Jesse?
Yeah, I've been pinging you because I've been trying to not leave Aiden hanging. Yeah, this I can bring that up. Let's do the life cycle. Because there's a PR that Aiden opened to give the launcher an ability to respect the UMask. Um, and the main sticking point is, does this require a spec change? Or is this an implementation detail of our launcher?
And I guess
And
if you're going to do a spec change, you might as well do it right before we do a spec release.
well, it also changes his PR significantly, right? Because it means that you can only do this new behavior if it's a certain
If it's part of the
platform.
spec.
Yeah. So there's some other, implications of saying yes, it requires a spec change. So I I could go either way on this one, which is why I've been reaching out to Terrence to be like, you make the decision. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you have thoughts on this, Joe?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't read it, I don't think, so I don't have any thoughts.
It's basically just setting the UMass value based on an environment variable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so if at build time you pass in a particular UMask variable, then your processes in your container will get lodged with that UMask variable. It was Docker has the feature, Podman has the feature, and Kubernetes, there's no way of in a pod spec of setting the UMask of the processes that run. So this was the way I was thinking about doing it. We can't do it in an exec.d binary because the exec.d binaries are not as separate processes. It could be something that we could do in this new execution environments stuff. You could have a UMask binary that runs before the thing. And yeah, I suppose the question was, yeah, does this require a spec change or is it implementation detail? And if it's an implementation detail, I'd be happy to just rip it back out again when we get execution environments.
Can you talk about the execution environment thing with UMask, or what you mean by that?
Sorry, not execution environments. The configurable Dan McCuse's
The launch
RFC.
processes.
Oh,
Launch
flexible
Yes,
process types.
flexible.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Sorry, flexible
Okay,
launch
that
processes.
I was very confused for a second.
Sorry, yeah, so was I. So if this were to come eventually, and I can see this probably taking just a little bit longer, then you could replace the UMask stuff with flexible launch processes. But at the moment, to
This
my knowledge,
RFC
this
hasn't even been.
Because you would set a process type that would set the UMask
exactly
and then use
yeah,
that.
exactly. You'd have a build pack that would introduce a UMask binary effectively to set the UMask however you'd like. But yeah, it was just it's effectively we couldn't set the UMask on some Kubernetes images that we deployed to Kubernetes, and this seems to be this is the only way I could figure out about doing it.
Do you know what our stance is on environment? It's been a little while since I've dug into it. Do you know what our stance is on M stuff? Do we just let it leak through generally?
We don't generally. In this case, I have just to make it easy. But if again, what we wanted to do was if the decision was that this doesn't require spec change, I don't feel like it does. But if the decision was we don't require spec change, and if you wanted it uh, a flag that could either be set on a flag or an env and passed all the way down, then I'll make those changes.
Clear this when you're setting the UMass from the envar. This is from the process specific env, right? I mean,
Yes.
not only process specific, but just like the build pack created env, not the platform env. Or I guess it's both in theory, right? Or is it? No. No, you take the launch env. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we set the UMask for the eventually launched process in the launch environment. I've seen one or two people ask for this. I've never understood the reasoning. I've seen one use case for this, which is if you need to run things on top of NFS, which obviously is something that you would never want to do. You might be forced to do it, but you might not want to do it. And yeah, so it is a use case that I have seen.
For what it's worth,
Trying to get it.
we don't do this in our cloud native build packs thing, but we do this somewhere else. And it was one of the like little things to keep the platform consistent across generations of runtimes.
Yeah.
And so you could want to do it for compatibility reasons, like you said, like to the particular storage thing, or just to keep things similar to what they are today, even though you move to Kubernetes, which has different, properties by default.
Does that mean in Kubernetes, if you set like the UMass, say in the base image, it doesn't use those?
It does not, to my knowledge. I'm not an expert on this, but
Yeah, I think you have to
from
do
what,
it. So like we do this in like a Heroku launcher, for instance, and which is why we do it in another place in our system that runs on Kubernetes to keep that. So I don't know why we chose originally at Heroku to do the UMask the way we do it, but it presents itself as like files created during certain processes had different, you know,
Properties,
properties. And so
permissions, or
that was
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
We didn't want to diverge there, so we ended up having to do a UMass like this in a different launcher that was running on Kubernetes.
So
the UMask is, sorry, I'll go for it.
go ahead, Aiden.
I was just going to say, the UMask, it's per process. It's part of the process control block effectively in the kernel.
Right.
And if you don't, it's not sufficient to create, let's say, some config file on a rel image or config file on a Debian image. You've actually got to call the umask syscall to set the umask.
Okay. So is the use like this is not setting UMass. This is only for launcher and not like for the build pack lifecycle, right?
Yeah, just for the process that we're just about to launch. We call in this PR, we call set umask as late as possible, right before we basically launch the process.
And so if this was a spec change, this would be a thing in just launcher and creator, I assume.
Yes.
Probably not creator. Creator doesn't deal with launcher, right?
Oh, right. Creators.
So it
Yeah.
would just be
So
launcher,
just launcher.
or it would be if it goes to spec. I think I would maybe push that this belongs in launch toml because, like Aiden said, this is really part of the process, and so it's probably there's really no reason for it to be an invar. Like if we push this back to spec, I think it should probably be an optional key on launch toml under like a specific UMask like sort of thing because that's kind of where it is in the process.
Yeah. And so if you did that way today, that means you need a build pack to set that then, right? Because you can't.
Which is what he's doing here anyway. So this is reading from the launch env. So he's actually expecting a build pack to set this invar, not the platform. Right, Aiden?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it.
How much do you hate doing this in launch tunnel, Aiden?
We had a need about 2 weeks ago. I believe the need has gone away, as in someone's figured out a fix. So if we want to do this the right way, then I'm happy to spend time on it. I'm also wondering, given the flexible launch processes, is that a better way of doing it as well? Maybe we should just junk this and basically throw the functionality into the flexible launch processes. You know,
Yeah, I think it's mostly do we want this exposed as a general thing where you don't need to build a build pack or not for it? Or do we
You don't
want
have to build
to?
a build pack today to either, right? Like you could change launch toml to call UMask right now and then
Yeah.
end it, but it requires you to have a shell, right? Like because there's no
Yeah.
direct launch, right? So I think
Mhm.
that's the caveat.
Yeah.
Won't that also be true in flexible process types?
Flexible process types, I could presumably provide a little Go UMask binary or whatever that would call
That would call the
I
syscall for you.
call the syscall and then exec whatever the command is that would be afterwards. And it would also achieve one or two other things that I had RFCs in for things like changing the init process that you use. So we wouldn't have to specify that then in launch.toml. It would be provided by the build pack that you want to use. Which
Gotcha.
I feel is possibly a better solution anyway.
Yeah, I'm fine going that route if we think UMass is not a common thing that we want to expose. If that's how we're feeling about that.
Yeah, if we don't have an immediate need for it, if your need has died down right now, Aiden, then I think waiting on this and closing it in favor of the proposal for flexible process type seems like the best approach, even though it solves nothing right now. But if you still need this, then I'm happy to push in on either
Yeah.
this RFC or this PR or something in some way.
I appreciate that. I'll hold off for the moment. I'll give Dan a RFC a better read tomorrow, and hopefully we can push that forward. And because I think that will solve 2 or 3 problems I have.
Yeah, because if we don't
solving one.
we don't think everyone's going to be doing this, then introducing it as like a first class
Yeah.
citizen in launch Toml feels bad. And I
It's
don't
yet
really
another
want
code path.
everyone
Yes.
creating their own UMask like binary either and Go to like do this in flexible launch. So I don't know.
Yeah. Super cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's leave this alone, and we'll kill it when we approve the flexible launch processes as RFC.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you
I'm
very
glad
much.
we talked about it.
Yeah, you've just been ignoring me, Terrence. I'm like, what do you think about this? Crickets. I'm like, all right. One day he'll reply. Too busy.
Working groups are your chance, Jesse. You should take
It's
advantage
true.
of it instead of me bringing up our DMs and working group.
It's true. All right. Anything else? We've got 15 minutes. I'm happy to give everyone 15 minutes back if there's no other agenda items.
I want to congratulate Aiden on the Lorem Ipsum Award. Of course. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's brilliant, but I really don't like getting singled out for it because we know that so many people around here, like Joe's put a lot of work into that over the years. Natalie's put a lot of work into that over the years.
Well, his contribution was to nominate you, so that's how that works, right?
Thank you very much.
Team effort.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. Yeah, just if people aren't aware, last week at KubeCon there was the Lorem Ipsum Award was handed out to. Well, I was one of the very grateful recipients. But as I said, if I look at the committers over the years, Javier, who did an awful lot of work on this going back, Joe's done a lot of work, Sam's done a lot of work, David's done a lot of work. So it feels odd getting singled out for it, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
But that doesn't mean you didn't do a lot of work, right?
No, it doesn't. I went back over it now, and I've been doing this for about 4 years, and that's a reasonable amount of time. So yes, I appreciate the nomination, and I appreciate the recognition. So thank you very much.
Bravo, bravo.
So I felt like someone was going to say something before I cut them off rudely about the award. So
I was going to say those are not easy to get. I've nominated people before, and it's tough. So you have to provide information, and they review it. So all the more reason to be congrats on it.
Thank you. And yes, the next PR will hopefully fix all of our 404s and searches. So I've got that one almost ready now. So that's always going to be good. Super.
Wait, did this award like guilt you into wanting to do more work because you feel
No,
inadequate?
I've always wanted. I wanted to do more work, and there's lots of things that I want to do. It's right now that there's like everyone else, there's an awful lot going on in the work job, and I don't know if you know one of my bad habits. One of my bad habits is I referee rugby games, which gets me out running at the weekends. So between kids and that and everything else, it's just hard to get time. But it's great, and yeah, it just helps me, I suppose, prioritize this with my team lead and my managers. Look, we're getting awards for this, so can you give me some time during the week to do it? And the answer was yes. So it's great.
working as planned from Joe.
Fantastic. Cool. Is that us?
Yeah, probably just FY, I think it will be a light crew next week because of the American Thanksgiving holiday.
Oh, yeah.
So I think at least for Joe, Jesse, and I, we will not be here. But if other folks want to meet, I'm not going to stop them, obviously.
It's the earlier one. It's the European oriented.
Yeah, it's the European one as
so
well.
I'll be there.
I will try it.
Sorry, I the last 2 or 3 times I've tried to join, I've gotten prompted for a PIN code. Or is that because no one with the CNCF account had joined first, or a host account or something?
Sure, I've seen people say that, but I've never seen it. But I don't think I'm logged in. Like, or if I am, but
There's a CNCF Bill Packs project on here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I didn't get asked, but I also just clicked the link with the PIN code in it.
There's a link with the PIN code. Oh my
Well,
God.
it has like it has the like password equals and it's like SZ
Yeah.
and it's like that super long thing. So that's the link I click.
That's the link I clicked to. Okay. Oh, I see. It's lowercase in the PW. It's uppercase in the text, but it's lowercase in the link.
Like that's the link that I use.
Okay, I'll fix that. I think it's just
You have the
incorrect.
wrong password.
I think we're linking. We've got a where, which links to that URL, and that password in the URL then is lowercase, and we've got a location zoom below, which has an uppercase S at the start of the PWD.
Okay.
So for me, also like today, first link that I tried it did not work. Then I had to retry again because it said like the password was incorrect.
Thank you for
Oh,
retrying,
okay.
because a lot of people would not bother. And I'll fix that in the documentation tomorrow.
Thank you, Aiden.
Because I ain't doing anything right now, because I've just got banging drums above me, because I
Yeah.
have children drumming.
Cool. Yeah. Anyone have anything else? Or we call it?
Nah, nothing else.
thanks, folks.
Good.
Adios.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Okay, thanks.